2014, 2015, around there.
Yeah.
That's a great time to start podcasting.
Because I give you my version of what he's saying. It's just like so you know, even though we had different journeys at the beginning, you know what I mean? I guess you see there's good, bad, and ugly to the speed of things, right? Like we said, right? High school, I was already like speeding, you know, to the streets at an alarming rate, right?
You was
So
outside.
the con of that is that then you run into big walls, right?
Mhm.
Like jail, prison. You know, there's a lot of benefits to that, but then there's a lot of cons to that. So now, the era he's talking about is just like, you know, he's gone through his own things. I've gone through this, and now we're 30 plus. You know, when you teens, 20s, it's all fun and
Yeah.
games on the block.
But when you're
getting money,
30s, that's
so
when you start
party
losing
and
sleep.
party
Yeah.
and push, everything's good. But then
Yeah.
30s hit, life hits, people
Yeah.
died, people are in prison. You know,
Yeah.
now it's just like we're
Friends
more adults.
deported.
Your friends deported. You know, the fun starts going away and reality starts hitting you more. And, you know, you start with 100 people. Now you're down to 10, 20 people. You just got to start looking at things different. And then you start seeing that everybody's not as honorable as you. People are not your friends and your brothers
Mhm.
like you thought they would be.
Mhm.
And then, you know,
I hear
for
that.
me, like when I made a big decision like that, I felt like he was my brother, was that I saw him do honorable things for people that were around me that, you know, I know people don't usually do, and it wasn't being appreciated. And I was like, I need that in my life, because I know like you could get money anywhere, you could get fun times anywhere, but real honorable good people are really hard to come by in life, and you got to really value them and appreciate them,
Yeah, it's a
because
fact.
you know what I mean. But you don't realize that when it's all fun and
Yo,
games. So
shut.
Nah, he dropped the
Wow,
bars.
bars,
He dropped the
Diablo,
bars.
espérate.
That was like a podcast
Yo,
freestyle.
listen, man.
That was like all bars right there.
Live from the MC.
When did you guys you spoke a little bit about it of like starting the podcast? So when did you guys actually decide to go forward and start the podcast? And also, can you tell me a story of when it was difficult to keep the podcast going? I say that because a lot of people want to start a podcast, but they don't realize the trials and tribulations, and when you don't think that the shit could happen, but you got to make it happen.
All right.
So let me know when you guys decided that, and when did it become really difficult?
So I'll give you. All right. So 2016, I came back from Amsterdam. I came back with an idea to my friend. I was like, "Yo,
You was in Amsterdam getting lit. I already know.
It was nice.
You don't even got to tell me. I could see it.
I came back and I was like, yo, we're going to do this type of version of cafe here at home in New York. And we had the resources. We had the studio to convert it into a lounge, named it Happy Munkey. Speakeasies were born. Weed speakeasy, right? But because of that, it was a music studio. We got years in the game. Our partners had years outside in the game. We had so many people come in and out that party that our friend International P was like, yo, you guys got so many people coming in and out here, and I know you guys don't want to be on camera, none of that shit, but yo, y'all gotta start interviewing. Like, these people are just like here, it's like, fuck it. And this is before like visuals are even out. We were like having like just audio at the moment.
Oh, I like that. That's how we started. It was just audio.
Yeah, it was audio.
It wasn't even no
And we were
visuals.
in the studio room. So we had the kind of like the resource already there. So we was like, fuck it. You know, we had one of our friends, you know, we paid them to edit a little bit, and we just started with us first. We made sure like our story, you know, who we were, we introduced ourselves, because obviously, you know, people just gotta
They
know
like
who
they
you're
don't
talking
know
to,
they know
right?
your interviews, but they
So-
don't know you.
Right. So we kind of started off with that, and we started off a little bit with introductions and stories, and on and on and on. We started fucking interviewing all sorts of people, fucking from Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Ricky Ross, not the rapper, the dude that actually sold
The skinny
you know what
one.
I mean?
The skinny
Yeah.
one.
That's a good look.
Yeah, you know, we've done all sorts of people from not too long ago we did Joy
Joy Bryant.
Joy Bryant.
That was in Get Rich or Die Trying. The many.
Oh, she played his girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. She meant a lot to my childhood.
So we did all sorts
She
of
meant
shit.
a
You know
lot.
what I mean? Like Puma from
Oh.
Black Ink. We fucking did JIV and Cootie. Like, oh, this is the dude who did the Kanye
Nice.
documentary. We did them back then, like they were supporting us, right?
Uh,
So we kind of like took the opportunity and just said, fuck it, bro. We just gonna talk our shit. Cause it's like I don't know. I think if we felt like this was like our next thing, like you know what I mean,
It
like
was your next
that's
hustle,
it.
yeah.
Because it's like we did everything you can do as far as like weed in the street and this and that, and you know travel, all the bullshit. So it's like, what's next as far as like us and like weed, and all we could do is kind of like create a brand and start doing all the legit shit through there. You know what I'm saying?
What it looks like to me is that you guys always were against the system. You saw an avenue to support everything else you were doing. You had a platform,
Yeah,
and you just ran with it and kept going, bro.
I tell you to my
You also had access to people,
yes,
and you took advantage of that.
right. And
Like you were saying, bro.
at a moment where it wasn't legal yet, right? So all these people are coming to support us and talking when weed is not legal yet in
Yeah,
New York State,
yeah.
right? So it's like they all taking a chance coming to the speakeasy party and coming to get interviewed by us.
Shout out to the speakeasy parties.
to me, like
Oh
one of the
my.
toughest points of the podcast and just the whole brand to keep alive in general was during COVID.
Oh,
Because if y'all
Oh.
remember,
Oh my
we're
God.
saying
Yes.
the
Pre-COVID,
basis,
yeah.
the basis,
That was the time to pod too.
Yeah.
the basis of our company at the beginning was the events and the speakeasy. Now you can't gather together. You can't get
Facts.
people together.
Facts.
And now we got to triple thank our boy that he mentioned International Peace that got us to do this, because now this is the only thing left is like podcasts and our social media and our merchandise, because we can't gather people together. So that was a tough time to keep it going and get people virtually to interview and all this stuff, because it was just like it was a real tricky time to keep some shit like this alive when people can't get together. And
Did y'all do the virtual podcast?
We did virtual podcasts. We did
Yeah?
a bunch of interviews like
Oh
that.
man, shout outs to y'all,
We did a
man.
bunch of shit like that, and actually, yo, shout out to some of those that even came and saw us. They
Yeah.
came and even came
Shout out-
like
shout out
fuck it,
to the
we'll
people
come
that went on the
city, bro.
pod,
It's
yeah.
just
Yo, shouts to
20 minutes, no
them.
straight up. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking humbled, but you know what I mean? Like they're like, yo, fuck it, we ain't got nothing else to do. Fuck this COVID shit, and they were like,
because I tell you a secret about us, gentlemen. We didn't quarantine now one day. Y'all know, like the NBA was in a bubble. We was in the Happy
Yeah.
Monkey bubble. So
Yeah.
us and our team, we were just outside every day.
Yeah.
Just the studio and our spots. Like we never stood home.
Yo, bro,
I-
blessings, bro, blessings.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I was in El Jefe every day during COVID. Every day.
COVID and watching
Nigga,
the heights.
yo,
nigga,
There was no
Yo,
COVID.
bro, I was popping bottles under the AC. I didn't give a fuck. I was outside, so I feel you. Cause
yo,
two places that didn't do COVID was Miami and Dyckman.
yo,
Straight up and down.
Miami and
The
Dyckman.
heights and
Like
Dyckman
that.
did not do COVID.
Fact.
yeah.
I'm not snitching, but shout out to 10th Ave. I'm not snitching though.
Oh, it was lit. It was lit. It was lit.
So that, to me, that was a tough.
Bro, so y'all been potting for like how many years now? That's like
That was like
oh,
2018, 2019. It's
2018,
been like 5 years.
like
Yeah.
5 years already.
And we kind of took a
That's
break.
fire.
And then, you know, and then we took a break, not necessarily, but because we were going after licenses, legal licenses. So that kind of took up a lot in the beginning. And then once we kind of got back to our shit, we was like, all right, come, let's bring it back. And honestly, we didn't, not that we got a billion people watching us, that never was kind of like the thing for us. The thing is that since we're able to still do it and we're able to kind of still have our people and we're able to kind of like, you know, showcase, because at the end of the day, we still advocates. No matter how things change for us, we still gonna be a platform where we show people who function under cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
everybody in New York, there is no typical look to cannabis, so we want to make sure that we continue to kind of show that, because that's what we kind of had in our speakeasy. We had all people from all walks of life, so we want to
Type
continue to
shit.
kind of show that. You know?
Type shit. You guys speak a lot about mainly cannabis and also the avenues that you have outside of podcasting. So can you give us in a brief pitch to the people that's watching and that don't know about you? Can you give us a pitch of what your entire brand is all about?
So I'll give you a one point that he could, whatever I miss, he could fill in, because it's just a lot. But the basic North Star is, you got to remember that this was like the version of y'all, or the way that you introduced yourselves in the podcast. Like, this is a podcast, some friends and all they do and etc. It really kind of started like that. It's like me, him, and my other two partners are friends. we all do these different things, and then one thing leads to another, from speakeasy to podcasts to merchandise to bigger events to licenses and etc. But the North Star is like, let's say, the lifestyle brand, intellectual property, right? And then all these things come under. And the reason that we knew, the only thing that we knew guaranteed at the beginning was that all the companies that had a big movement in cannabis at the time were all from the West Coast. And we knew, like, there's a fucking crazy New York cannabis culture here, but there's
Huge
nobody
market.
publicly
Huge
Yeah.
market.
representing it. So we knew, like, we're gonna represent,
And it wasn't
East
legal at the
Coast.
time as well.
Exactly. But we could represent the lifestyle, because cannabis is legal, but the lifestyle is legal, which means
I mean, how you gonna represent
podcast.
the lifestyle without smoking?
No, you can smoke, but I'm just talking about what is not legal is to sell it.
Right.
You could lifestyle is
yeah.
smoking it, talking about it, the way you move, the way you do
It's
things.
lifestyle, right? So if I tell you, if I walk in the room, I don't have to necessarily show you that I got a blunt in my hand or I got weed or I come in here looking clean and sober. But if I tell you I got the munchies, everybody in the room knows I smoke weed. That's what I mean when I say when we
Yeah.
mean the lifestyle, right? It don't necessarily gotta mean that I look like a fucking stoner, but these are the things that come with the lifestyle, and we got that
Thanks,
over
yeah,
here as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the stoner here looks like an athlete. The stoner here looks like somebody who works at Wall Street. The stoner here
Yeah.
looks like me, look like you, Dominicans from Uptown.
Stoner is a hedge fund person.
The
Yeah.
hedge fund, everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, fucking the ox smoke weed. You know what I mean? Everybody smoke weed here. So it's like,
Yeah.
so in New York, it was kind of like to kind of make sure, and even the fashion, right? We don't look like West Coast people. Let's be real. No matter how much it's love, and I love the fashion, I love everything. I love everything. But in New York, our fashion is different, fam. We get ready for winter.
It's not. It's not different. It's better.
You know, shit.
I could get on the camera and say that. Like I stand by
You've
that.
been to Cali a lot?
You know what I mean?
California, Miami, when Miami was the wave with the haze.
Heard you.
Amsterdam, Brazil, I don't know, Jamaica,
Yeah.
I've been everywhere in California between San Diego and Oregon.
Yeah.
Because it was in
It's out there. Yeah.
legacy market
Yeah.
for 20 years, so you had to go to California.
Absolutely.
I got another question for you guys. As again, for the people that are watching that don't necessarily know you, if I was to go and start listening to a podcast of yours, well, can you guys each give me an individual podcast that might be your favorite or a good one to start listening to what you guys do?
Well, I would look, I like that. If I was to choose a podcast, and I've been binging on this one, I'm gonna say Drink Champs, even though it's completely, since it's alcohol, it's like the complete opposite. But the way they big up legends, because that's another thing that we do on our podcast. We big up maybe somebody, or we introduce a legend that maybe people don't know, right? And we, whoever's kind of like willing to get on camera and they kind of like did something back that, because there's OGs that we look up to that they actually was moving those pounds out here on 207 and anywhere up here in between the Heights and Harlem and all these places, right? So that's another thing that we like to do. So, Drink Types, they do it as well. And also it just shows that you don't have to be perfect, because they're not necessarily perfect, and they show a lot of imperfections. You fucking hear the garbage truck in the back, they chilling, smoking, and fucking, it shows you, because that's a successful podcast. That's not a maybe podcast.
Very successful.
They got sponsors. They on the channel.
Nori got hair now.
Yeah,
I think we don't see it, but he got a hairline now. They successful.
bro.
Yeah, but you gotta give it up to Nori. My man Nori been
100%.
outside.
100%. He been outside, because
He been outside.
He used to come top out.
But he ain't get on hairline until the podcast hit. Let's be real. Let's be real.
No.
Now, I want to answer, but I want to be clear. I think was the question podcast or just an episode of one of our
Yeah,
podcasts?
my question
So-
was a
so-
podcast
so
of one
for
of
me-
yours.
Okay.
But I do love that you said that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna hand you my resume to be a legend on the pod. I'm gonna give you my Hall of Fame case.
So-
But I did mean an episode of yours. Like,
So I think
me.
that something that could resonate, especially as being the Dyckman podcast, one of my favorites. If you had to choose one to learn about us and learn about what we about from legacy to legal, would be the White Boy Kev episode.
Yeah.
shout
White
out,
Boy
shout out
Kev.
all the Kevins out there. You heard?
It's a gentleman that used to be one of the owners of La Marina back in the days. That was heavy in the cannabis.
When it was
Back-
actually La Marina.
back when I couldn't afford to go.
Marina,
That
that
one I
was
feel the,
Back when I couldn't afford to go, yeah.
the reason that I mentioned that is because it just crystallizes our history, Dyckman history, to the legal point we are now. So that's why I
Yeah,
think that's a
it
good one
does.
for
It
me.
does. It touches a lot.
I mean, White Boy Kev.
Yeah,
Definitely got to check that episode out.
it does.
You?
It does. It does. I'll agree with him. I would add.
Episode that you thought was good for your brand or good that like you had fun doing.
I would add another friend of ours that's from Dyckman, Tito, from Titans Greenery. He got a brand called Titans Greenery
From Academy.
from Academy.
Say that.
And older G, and he kind of explained a lot from his perspective, right? Because a lot of people, everybody especially in the weed game, everybody want to claim they was the first and they was the this and there was this that. But the reality is that there was many different people that did it different
Mhm.
ways and different times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to kind of hear the actual, people that were actually outside, you know what I mean, at that time. Is good to hear their story because, again, weed is legal now. It's 3 years into it. A couple years from now, all those OGs that were older than us, they gone. They're not willing to write books. They're not willing to get on a podcast. They're not willing to, show themselves anymore. So it's like, this is kind of like the last kind of moment that we got with our OGs and people that were here before us and doing shit and got locked up and moved in them trucks and was bringing all that haze when Dyckman was the haze era, right? You know what I mean? So it's like it's not
It's
so
not the
many
haze
people
era no
left.
more.
I mean, it's always.
I mean,
always the
I don't
haze
smoke, so I don't
mecca.
know. I don't
It's always
smoke.
the haze mecca. I think is
I always
the haze
thought Dyckman was the home of the haze. Yeah,
absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
But it was like it was a heyday that
Yeah,
made it
that we had it.
made
Yeah,
it that moment, and it was a lot of these gentlemen, and a lot of these gentlemen are gone, and it's good to kind of hear representation of that.
I like how you called them gentlemen. Yeah, respectfully.
Yeah, they made
I mean, look,
they made those $1 million blocks. I need people
Oh,
to
for
understand
sure.
that it wasn't just some
Oh,
that
for
was just
sure.
like a couple thousand here and there. No, these
No.
blocks generated millions of dollars a
That's a
year.
fact.
So
Bro, there's still
A
blocks
year,
like
I-
that right
business.
now.
I would go every 2 to 3 months. They probably
You
generated that.
understand what I'm
Because like
saying?
I used to smoke when I was from like 16 to like 25 ish. I'm 31, but I know
Mhm.
if I want to get some weed right now, I know exactly where to go because that's where I used to go 10 years ago.
Nah,
Well, hold on, Kev. Hold on, Kev. So all that leads us to 151 Dyckman.
it's funny that you mentioned that. So remember
I
how
put
it's
the charges in.
how everything comes full circle. So remember, I was just seeing one of the dudes earlier. So the reason that it's full circle 151 Dyckman, when I was in high school with Ramon, 1998. Remember, I'm in Harlem, 139 from Broadway. We got everything over there, every kind of drug you could think of, but Dyckman is still home of the hay. So
Yeah, still
everybody
Dyckman.
from my neighborhood has to travel to Dyckman to get the fire. So me at that age,
It's still like that.
me at that age, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy an ounce, and if it doesn't sell, I'll smoke it. And I never ever had a job again, and I never stopped selling cannabis ever again. And that was ounce I bought right on Sherman, right around the corner from 151. So my cannabis career started on Dyckman because of Dyckman, and now just opened the first legal licensed cannabis dispensary in history on Inwood around the corner from there.
Yo, aplauso.
With that being said, how do you guys feel with all of the smoke shops and dispensaries being open on Dyckman? Like, can you like what I'm trying to get out of you guys, pause, is how do you feel with the dispensaries being selling legal weed and the block that still got the pure? Like,
Alright.
how's the balance of that?
So just to give y'all verbiage, we call legacy the spots, right? So anybody who's a punto and been there forever, they legacy.
I like
these are,
that.
These
I
are
like
people
that.
that's been
I
there
like that.
forever.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
that.
These are
that.
niggas that been
I like that.
around.
I like that.
Just like us, we was outside. Other
Uh-huh.
niggas older than us, they was outside. These are all people that are legacy. I have no problem with nobody like that.
Mhm.
Make all the money in the world. I think whatever. If you don't feel like transitioning, that's your business. You've been outside for a long time. You got that choice. If you decide to transition, we're here to help. We're a fucking open book. We talk to you about anything. That's basically our thing. You know what I mean? If you legacy and you trying to transition, we here for you. Whether it's through the podcast, whether it's through Jules, whether through you want to come talk to Vlad. He loves that shit. You know what I mean? Like this is what we here to do. Smoke shops, they're not legacy. That's not the same thing.
at all. I don't even know these
So,
niggas.
so I'm gonna break it down to you right now.
I'm like, who is you?
I'm gonna get a breakdown because me and Ramon have had to deal with this question a lot, and that's why we're able to articulate it the way we can. So, legacy is somebody that's been doing this for 5-10 years or more. You
Mhm.
know, really put it in, is really doing it for the right reasons. Really, cares about the plant, cares about the community. Now, when there was some of the people when I had that spot on 139th that I used to hustle in front of their store or try to hustle inside their store, and they used to call the cops on me. Now, those same people, after they got legal, decided to turn their same smoke shops that they used to call the cops on me on and start selling legal weed. Those are opportunists and carpetbaggers that don't care about the community. They don't care about the cannabis.
Yup.
Those people I'm not a fan of
I love
because
that you said
they
that.
don't care about nothing. They just there to, run it up, and the money don't circulate back to the community because the dude that you asked him about that owns the spots out here for mad years, you know what they do? They go to the bar, they go to the barber shop, they go to, and that
Yup.
money circulates in the neighborhood.
Chain me truck.
Those other
Niggas is
people,
doing barbecues, God. What's up? That's what I grew up with.
those
a
other
fact.
people,
That's a fact.
that money is never coming back to the community
That's a
because
fact.
they never cared about the community.
That
They're
is
just
a
trying
fact.
to run it up. So that's like,
Bro, is the store open already?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When did it open?
It opened on Saturday, but right now it's just like a silent opening. It's gonna be silent.
It's a
after
soft
this.
opening.
It's a soft opening. But right now we just got like natural foot traffic because we're trying to get everything straight, get all the kinks straight to make sure that like when we do soft
Yeah,
opening in September.
Yo, because I
Hold
could
on,
be
hold on, hold on.
mistaken, but other smoke shops in Dyckman are closed down.
Wait. Hold
I
on, hold
think you
on.
guys are the only ones open right now.
So there's a. Have you guys seen the TV show Atlanta? Danny Glover.
Yeah.
I seen like
There's an
episode or
episode.
two. I
There's
ain't
an
seen it.
episode where he went to London and he his friend went to a Nigerian shop that was like owned by Nigerians. Everything was authentic, but he was dating a white girl, right? He brought the white girl to the shop. The white girl loved everything from the music to the food, and he came back the next day. The white girl had bought the shop, closed it down, and opened up a food truck in the same spot, but gentrified the entire thing. So that kind of made me think of what you were saying. But in my maybe I'm missing something. You guys are opening up a shop on Dyckman?
Illegal.
Bro, it's the
dispensary.
first. That's what I was
legal
just saying.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to,
So, like,
like-
if I'm not mistaken, you guys are the only legal ones because,
Yes.
like,
In
all the
Washington
other
Heights
ones got
or
shut down.
Inwood. In
And
Washington
it's-
Heights or Inwood in
and
history.
and it's
There was never
151
license.
Dyckman. It's 150.
Bro, can we highlight that real quick?
Oh,
No, let
shit.
me-
First legal license one in history.
Oh, copy.
ever.
Yo,
So
shots.
because when he said that, I was kind of like, damn, maybe I don't know.
Bro,
but, like,
more shots.
copy 151 Dyckman. All right.
Yeah, right.
Bro, because all these, like, little
It used-
smoke shops,
it used
they're
to
not
be-
really, like, legit.
Oh,
They're
wait.
closing them down.
That's what Dyckman Electronics was.
Exactly. We took
Oh, that makes
51.
sense now.
Bro, 151
Oh, y'all about to
Dyckman.
be lit.
First legal spot uptown,
Oh, copy.
and the guys from Happy Monkey are here.
Now that makes so much sense. Yo, bro, that's fire. That is fire. I want to get salute. That is fire. That is
it's helped
fire.
to change, right? That I think is important, right? That,
Hell yeah.
so right now, cannabis since it legalized, it's like 150 stores, 160 stores, has generated like 500 and something $million for the state. So the way that it works is that 40% of the taxes of that goes to education, communities most impacted by the war on drugs and etc. But 4% of the taxes go immediately to the zip code where the dispensary operates at. So what that means is before we opened, Inwood didn't get a penny out of that. You know who was getting all that money? Everybody south of 125th Street that
Love
didn't
it.
suffer. With
Love
this,
it.
this community suffered for the war on drugs, where everybody got arrested. All those blocks and all that history you heard is what built this $5-6 billion
Mhm.
industry. So it'll be sad now that it's legal that more affluent areas benefit off of it than here.
Mhm.
Yo, guys, this is a big deal. Like, how did you
It's a
guys
big deal.
stumble upon this opportunity?
Oh man, there was no stumble, man.
It was definitely no stuff.
Oh.
There was a lot of
Wow.
flips.
Part of it was because of our arrest records for cannabis.
Yeah.
We were able to qualify thanks to New York having the first program that prioritizes you if you had a cannabis conviction. So us both having cannabis convictions gave us a leg up. All this advocacy that you were mentioning earlier, Kev, that we
Yeah,
were
I definitely heard that New York
but
won, but you know, when you first hear it, it's like, oh yeah, they've been saying that.
but it was true because New York has more black and brown owned dispensaries than the whole country combined twice over. Because usually everywhere else it's not people that look like me, Ramon, or anybody in this room. It's usually Chad, Brad, or Karen.
This reminds me. This reminds me of like the beginning of Juicy, when Biggie was like, "This for all the people that was calling the cops on me when I was hustling for my daughter."
Type of shit, bro.
This is
Yo,
like,
shout out to
I'm getting
fucking
that.
Vlad and Ramon.
Getting that same feeling, bro.
Brand, and then we kind of like assimilated against not against inside a culture that we didn't even know existed. The downtown legal markets, the Wall Streets, the lawyers, the doctors, and all these things. We were throwing parties for them. You know what I'm saying? And we had, and in that same mix, we had the niggas that fuck with us, the niggas from the blocks inside those parties. So it was like we was doing that. Then COVID hit. Then he said podcast, merch, all the shit that we could do online, right? Then as soon as we legalized, we had to kind of like pivot as well. We had to start doing events compliantly, and we learned how to do compliant events. We did events in Wall Street. We did events with the Van Gogh Immersive. We did fucking events at the Museum of Sex last year. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that we end up learning along the way. But at the same time, again, we end up becoming advocates because once
We did a symposium where we partnered with Community Board now and
Symposium.
Columbia University, because me and Ramon were fortunate that we got in that loop, we said, and we learned about cannabis conferences, and we were able to soak up a lot of knowledge. But that's because Ramon said, because we was throwing these parties and we were able to get in that loop. But we knew that all our communities were getting left out the loop with information because these conferences are all in Tribeca, Soho, fly places. Tickets are like $500, $600, $700. So either they not in our areas or they pricing us out. So us knowing that, we partnered with Community Board 9 in Harlem and Columbia University. We threw a symposium where we flew in a doctor that specialized in the endocannabinoid system. We had politicians like Espaillat doing opening statements, Mark Levine, the Manhattan Borough president. We had the local council member. We had the cannabis czar, Dashida Dawson, giving educational symposium to the people about the economic and medical benefits of cannabis, and we gave all that for free to the community.
Jesus, bro, y'all putting in that work.
Because
nah, they solid real niggas, bro. Like, and y'all got prime real estate, prime real estate for what y'all doing. Because you not only do you got the food trucks, you got the clubs, you got
it's just that
y'all about to kill it. Y'all about to kill it, bro. So
how we stumbled upon this.
how many both of y'all phone numbers?
We were kind of like pushing
because I would say like not like
pushing upon it.
Not stumble upon it effortlessly, but the opportunity, since you guys are really the first ones.
Yeah, bro, and it's such an honor, to be honest, because the thing is, because we were able to kind of now hang out with like a lot of like different people from different neighborhoods in different areas of New York, we're able to bring that uptown now because people know.
Yeah, round of applause for that.
Is a
Round of applause for that.
And we want to make sure that they come up here, get come cop a Happy Munkey, come if you're a person that y'all worth the Dyckman podcast, they could come to the Dyckman podcast.
Appreciate
you want to
that.
go to Johnny's Pizza, you want to eat the best pizza you ever eat in your life, go to Johnny's Pizza.
Yo, shout out Alex.
These places, yo, Dyckman is a destination. You want to come to see the best basketball games in the world at this moment right now is uptown on Dyckman.
We better than the Olympics, nigga. Fuck out of here.
It's lit uptown, right? So we want to.
That one be coming to Dyckman, nigga. Watch what happens.
We want to make sure that people
they gonna gain 20 pounds.
that they come into a destination, not just Happy Munkey, but just the Dyckman area, the Inwood area is popping, bro.
If you really think about it, it's kind of like one of the only neighborhoods left in New York that hasn't got completely gentrified, that still has the culture.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
It's one thing happening everywhere else, including a lot of
But I'm gonna tell you this though.
It hasn't happened yet. Everywhere else it happened.
I'm gonna tell you this, bro. They're about to bring about 4,000 to 5,000 people to Dyckman.
10 to be exact.
10 crazy. 10,000 people to Dyckman.
En su diligencia.
Pero I promise you,
señor.
I promise you, with those 10,000 people, this shit is still gonna be Dyckman.
100%.
It's gonna be a little lich in the
The
cafe,
culture's
but
too rich right now, bro. Like
yeah, bro.
culture's too rich
So
right
that's
now.
it's
Like
not.
Yeah,
If you
bro.
think about it, go to 5 boroughs. There's not many areas that the culture's this rich anymore. Promise you.
Yeah, it's the Bronx and us.
It's the Bronx and us.
Yeah.
when in the Bronx depends on what block you on.
It's a little bit too culture.
I mean,
It's a little bit
listen,
too
man.
culture.
Like,
The
let's
spicy-
keep it a buck.
Spicy, man.
Let's keep it a buck, man. The Bronx depends what block you on. You know where you at. You feel me?
Sure, I mean, for all that, go to Seaman. So I mean, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But yo, you guys are doing your damn thing. Happy to meet you guys. Happy to have you on the pod.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to you. I will definitely be there. I don't smoke, but I'll support you guys. One more time, can you tell people the address? Can you tell people what day you are doing the grand opening, and also tell people your social medias where they can find you?
151 Dyckman.
Third.
September 16th. We're gonna do the soft opening. And come check us out, man. We don't do it for the clout, we do it for the culture. Then tell them where you can find us and stuff like that.
Social media, everything Happy Monkey on every social media platform you can think of, from fucking Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, fucking I don't know, Snapchat, LinkedIn, fucking Reddit, Pinterest, all that shit.
Happy
And-
Monkey with a U.
Yeah, I was
not
about
with
to
a
say
O.
HAPPYMUNKEY, right?
Look at the shirt. Look at the
Go to
shirt.
Matter of fact, you
happymonkey.com.
got it on his shirt. So your shirt real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go to happymonkey.com, and that could be like a central base for you to get to all that magic that Ramon said.
Yo, real quick. Y'all selling weed right now, right?
Correct.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
oh,
Like,
yeah,
can you
it's
tell?
single.
Can you tell me like
Like,
what
yo,
y'all got over there?
Everything
Like,
you can
how
think of.
I've never been to a dispensary, so like,
Okay, so legal dispensaries is just not flowers, just so everybody understands. Of course, we got flower, which means it's cannabis, weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, in all types of situations where there's an eighth, where there's a half an ounce, where there's an ounce, all different type of prices. Don't believe the hype. It's not crazy. The price is not crazy like people think it is. It's just a fucking store with some tax on it. We got pre-rolls, all types of pre-rolls you can think of. Gummies, which are edibles, low dosage, high dosage, however you want to take them. We got bud tenders there, which is aka the pitcher.
bartenders.
AKA the
oh,
pitcher.
I
love
that.
And they can definitely guide you to any type of high you're kind of looking for, whether there's an upper, whether there's a downer, whether you're just trying to stay in between. We got topicals, which is pain creams and shit like that. So if you don't really want to like ingest or anything, you could do that. We got tinctures.
Yo,
which
si
is-
no te la quieres fumar, te la unta.
yeah, all
Ay,
sorts of shit.
joda.
All sorts of shit.
Nah,
Yeah, because it's
hold on.
That's so important. You know why?
As soon as he's done talking, I got a serious question, but I want to finish.
That's so important. You know why?
Yeah.
You know how many people from our communities are taking these pharmaceuticals for pain, and there's cannabis topicals that Ramon just mentioned
Yeah, it's
that,
cheaper and
that,
it's
that
natural.
don't got
Nigga
that,
say-
that don't got all them side effects.
Un bengue con chin de
Nah, I got-
marihuana, eh?
I'm gonna let them finish, but I got one more serious question. But I'm gonna let them
We
finish.
got more stuff. Like I said, oil, which is tinctures. We got like vape oils.
The
like this that you
vape
can
oils,
add.
oh.
But we also got tincture.
Yo,
that you can kinda
clutch for
add to
corporate
anything.
America. You
You
heard?
got cannabis drinks.
Yes,
that
drink.
you little 5 milligrams instead of a beer. You have a cannabis drink, a
Yeah.
cold cannabis drink with 5
Fire.
milligrams.
What?
Exactly.
That's
Now you talking my
fire,
language.
bro.
Many ways, many ways to do this. There's many ways. There's fucking concentrates. That's like that's it. Like you reach pothead like
It's
level
a
number
fucking amusement
1,000.
park on 151 on
absolutely.
Dyckman. Yo,
Exactly.
this shit is
Yeah.
crazy.
So I got a serious question, right?
Yep.
So everybody that watches the pod knows I'm a serious alcoholic, right?
Mhm.
But the reason I drink so much is because I don't smoke. The reason I don't smoke is because I grew up smoking sour, and that shit is an indica, right? It makes you. It's a downer, right? As
so-
opposed to a sativa that's like
Yeah.
gives you energy.
So because this is still something that's not federally proven, right? The thing about weed is just that the indica and sativa thing is not necessarily correct, right? But
Okay.
let's use that as an example, right? So
Okay.
a sativa, primarily it'll probably be something that's more like a upper, right? We don't necessarily want to get too high. You want to function. You wanna
Yeah.
smoke,
Yeah.
eat a little bit, and you want to go fucking write your dissertation. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
Because when I smoke Smile, I'm in the couch.
Right,
That's what it was
but
called,
now-
in the couch.
But for a lot of people, a lot of people that I know,
Smoking that
they smoke sour,
sour
and they
couch.
don't fuck them up like that. For me, it does the same that it does to you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But a lot of people consider that a sativa, right? Haze is an upper
Really?
too.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, Hayes definitely up.
haze
Yeah,
is
yeah.
upper. It don't necessarily get people high, but I could only say that for me and then some of my friends that I know. But somebody else could tell me, yo, nah, that didn't really hit me that way, right? So the thing about weed is learning your palate. It's just like wine. You got to go in there and kind of
It's
what
like
you
wine.
like to
Yes.
smell, what you like to,
Yes.
you know, what it tastes like, you know, because it has different terpenes, which is different smells, right? The different the allure comes with it. It all depends, bro. Like there's things that's why the bartender is existing
It's
right now.
see that, yeah.
He's the more involved, the more evolved pitcher, because now he can explain to you the or you could go through it with him, right? Instead of just going to the dealer and just cop him like whatever the fuck they got,
Type
like we
shit.
after used to. Where now you could kind of gear your way.
Yeah.
It's this
'Cause
sour
what you-
and it's so fucking hot.
like, I'll go to a dealer. Not even,
In a purple
I'll go to a
bag.
dealer and he'll be like, yo, I got macadamia nut cookie brownie. I'm like, nigga, give me that.
Okay, well,
But-
right.
Ouch, right here. Yeah, see, man.
my direct question is, as somebody that has stopped smoking weed because I try to stay away from indicas because I don't like how they get me down.
Yep.
Is there any strands that you guys might have that I can smoke, or how about this?
Oh, you gotta
How about
you gotta
this?
go holla at the
No, wait.
bud tender,
How about
bro.
this?
Like
On opening day,
Pull up to
wait,
Dyckman.
on opening day, I'm gonna hit the blunt.
All right.
One time for you guys.
Oh,
I'm gonna hit the blunt one time for you guys.
one time, this guy.
It
We'll
gotta
make
be-
sure. We'll make sure it's
it
like
can't
a,
be
it's like a
indica,
Blue
though.
Dream
Yeah.
or like a Jack Herrera type of shit. We'll get you with some lemon piney shit.
Yo, you gotta bring the camera one day when y'all opening day. Bring the camera. I'm gonna hit the blunt.
Boom.
You said opening day September 16, right?
Correct.
Got you.
If I remember. Yo, guys, thank you for coming.
Nah, thank
All
you for
right,
having
like-
us, bro.
We definitely got to do this again.
Yeah, y'all gotta come to our shit, but y'all
Yeah.
gotta come smoke. Y'all gotta smoke. You coming to smoke because I know you smoke over here. So yeah, you're coming.
No, he
to
said I
smoke.
definitely
You
smoke.
smoking too? Oh yeah, you see, yeah. So
I mean,
I don't know.
if
We
you
just
had
showed
questions,
up.
bro.
We just showed up. I don't know, but you're coming to ours, which is gonna be great.
Yo, guys, 151 Dyckman, definitely go support. What more can we say? Is from Dominicans for Dominicans, representing Uptown, first spot. This one's going in the books, man.
Remember, everybody out there, you're too blessed to be stressed. Things that get greater later. You just got to choose happy.
hey, round of applause. Get it.
From the MC. Live from the MC.